Which words fill the gap? I have a lot of hobbies, sport and movies. Well, the gap could be filled with for example, but this is quite a common way of introducing examples. More advanced ways could be using namely, sport and movies, or even a selection of these are sport and movies. Welcome to more advanced English linking words and phrases that C1 English and C2 English speakers will use to make their linking phrases more advanced than others. Let's start with linkers of similarity. Look at the phrase below. Paul enjoys French food, then there's a gap. Paula enjoys French bread. So the two statements are similar. They're both to do with French food. So we could fill the gap with similarly. Paula enjoys French bread, or even likewise. Paula enjoys French bread. And these are good linking phrases, but even more advanced English could use this. In equal measure, Paula enjoys French bread. Or by the same token, Paula enjoys French bread. Or in a similar fashion, Paula enjoys French bread. So if you want your linking phrases for similarity to be more advanced English, here are some very useful phrases that you can use to improve your English speaking skills or even your English writing skills. Next, we'll look at linkers of concession. Look at the sentence here. There's a gap, then they missed the train, comma, they still arrived on time. So a word that could fill the gap here would be although. Although they missed the train, they still arrived on time. So although indicates a concession. Something went wrong, or even something went right, but that did not stop the opposite happening. So they missed the train, so you thought there would be a problem, but actually the opposite was still true, or something different was still true. They missed the train, but they still arrived on time. We didn't expect them to arrive on time because they missed the train. So although indicates that relationship where there are two things, there's a difference between the two, but we need to indicate that it was perhaps slightly unexpected as well. So although is a good word here. But we can also use phrases to be more advanced, such as these. Notwithstanding the fact that they missed the train, they still arrived on time. This will look really good in your writing if you are writing formal English or academic English. Notwithstanding the fact that they missed the train, they still arrived on time. Or you could just say, even though they missed the train, they still arrived on time. This one's a bit more common, but it's just more variation, so you're not just using although every time. Words 3, 4 and 5 are linkers of generalisation. What do I mean by this? Well, look at the example. How many planes leave this airport every day? And we want to give an answer that's not necessarily perfect, but gives a general idea of the truth. So you could say, in general, around 1,000. That's quite a common way of expressing a generalisation. To make it even more advanced English, you could use one of these phrases. Broadly speaking, around 1,000. It means the same as in general. Or as a rough estimate. As a rough estimate tells us it's close to this number. It's not exactly this number, but it's close to it. Or as a rule of thumb. This is a great phrase. As a rule of thumb. A rule of thumb means in general. It's got nothing really to do with thumbs. It comes from historical English. But this is a great phrase to show people that you have improved your English speaking skills and that you have advanced English speaking ability. And now words 1 and 2. And these are linkers of restatement. Have a look at the example to see what I mean. So let's imagine you go to the cinema, you come out and you tell someone the new movie was unique. And then there's a gap. It was like nothing I'd ever seen. So what's the speaker doing here? Well, the speaker is trying to use new words to describe the same thing, perhaps to give more detail, perhaps to be more focused in what they're saying. Sometimes we do that. We say something in a vague way and then we want to add information to explain it better. That's what's happening here. A common way of introducing this restatement is in other words. But how do we make this more advanced English, more IELTS 7, IELTS 8, IELTS 9 level English? Well, you could say putting it another way. The new movie was unique. Putting it another way, it was like nothing I'd ever seen. Or, to be more precise, it was like nothing I'd ever seen. And if you click the box on the screen below the arrows, you'll get more videos from me, or go in the description to find courses that I write on advanced English.